Hello, this is Ian Mark from Art T-Shirts by Ian. As you can see, I just beamed into Vulcan. In my earlier videos, I showed you Spock's familiar home recently discovered by Vulcan archaeologists. Then I showed you how they were attacked by the Enterprise when they refused to carry my T-shirts. Today, we will go where no one has gone before and visit all the places that helped form Spock as a child. Not only will we explore Spock's school and the library that he frequented, but we will have a surprise interaction from an unsavory character from Deep Space Nine. So let's get into it. Oh, and before I forget, be sure to watch right to the end when I show you how busy the Vulcan airport really is. Now, before we visit some of the locations here, I'm always getting harassed by those who say that I can't be visiting Vulcan because it doesn't exist. To those I say, look at this sign that says Vulcan and list some of the other planets close to here. What more proof do you want? So stop telling me that Vulcan doesn't exist. I even have a brother-in-law who was born in Vulcan, but he had his ears surgically altered to look more human-like. So first of all, let's see how the people of Vulcan live. You can see from this grain elevator, built by Earth investors, that agriculture is very important. There is even an elevator built by a Starfleet co-op. It's hard to believe that the future Enterprise science officer grew up in a community with such a large economic agricultural base. But that is how his ancestors lived, long before more advancements in technology. Now, just a few minutes' drive from the grain elevator is the downtown core. As the sign says, we are on Center Street. This area of Vulcan is very humble. There is no glitzy show of the latest in technology. On this street are the Vulcan offices, and if you read the bottom of the sign, it clearly says, Planet of Vulcan Authority. Just down the block is the library. It would have been here that Spock sought solace from the taunts of his classmates, because he was half human, and studied dilithium crystals or whatever else he needed to know to join Starfleet. We are lucky that even though it is an agricultural community, that at least education was forward-thinking. Speaking of education, let's visit the school where Spock would have opened his first science text. These images not only show the school, but also give us a glimpse into the climate at Vulcan. That's snow on the ground, so we know that Vulcan has a winter and that snow is common. Now let's get back to the downtown area. While I was walking around, I went into this seedy-looking drinking place and met this character called Quirk or Quack. He said he used to work in this other seedy place called Deep Space Nine. Perhaps you've heard of it. When I told him what I was doing, he asked me if I would like to buy these rare documents he acquired from Spock's school district. I didn't know if this Quirk guy could be trusted. He seemed half dishonest and half honest at the same time. I had the feeling that he was in Vulcan because he crossed the line at Deep Space Nine and was here to avoid more trouble. After haggling, the price we agreed on was 10 pieces of gold latinum. Try finding a banking machine that dispenses latinum. That took me forever. Then we met at this park bench. I was told to come alone, and that if I filmed his face, lots of nasty things would happen to me. We met, and I gave him the gold latinum, and he gave me this file folder. I don't know if it was real, or something that was manufactured for me. The whole exchange felt like I was in a Dixon Hill episode. So here is the document I bought. It appears to be a kind of report card for Spock in his last semester at school. When you look at it, you can see how Earthlings are viewed. For parents, it gives his name as Sarek. Then when it comes to his mother's name, she is referred to as that Earthling. How degrading. On one hand, they have this visitor center dedicated to Spock and Starfleet, so they can reap the economic rewards of Earth tourists. Then on the other hand, they look down on her because she was human. It's no surprise that in his evaluation it suggests sending him to Starfleet just to get rid of him. Have you ever wondered how much cooperation there is between Vulcan and Earth? While driving around, I found this park that was supported by the Lions Club. Who would know that one day the Lions Club would become so intergalactic and help in the construction of a park in Vulcan? Now, I said that we would go to the Vulcan airport. Just check out all the Starfleet vehicles just waiting to take off. Vulcan certainly has become a space hub for travel in this part of the galaxy. So I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into the Vulcan that Spock would have known as a child. We can only hope that Spock, the Starfleet science officer, was able to move on from the bullying he experienced as a child in Vulcan. Thanks for watching. Now it's time for me to beam back to Earth from Vulcan. Here's some of the Vulcan t-shirts available from my Art T-shirts by Ian store on Etsy. I'm also going to include at the end of this video a link to my other Vulcan videos. Thanks for watching.